7th grade. All right, you asked for it. Here we go. We're going to do a little lesson on what's your agenda today. I'm going to go through 3 examples. When I went through this with first hour, they made it sound like they'd seen all of this, and I told them to prove it. So I gave them 3 problems to try on their own. I'm going to go through those 3 problems so that you can assess yourself. If you'd like, you can pause right now and try these 3. I actually highly recommend that. I had them do number 2, number 12, and number 19. 2, 12, 19. All right, so pause now and try those 3. And in about 4 or 5 minutes, come back and we'll go through it. Welcome back. Hopefully you did it. Here we go. First one up, number 2. We got to say less than or greater than. No alligators. Don't tell me who's eating what. I need a mathematical intelligence statement. So I need you to tell me who is greater than or who is less than. Easy way to think about this. Pizza. Yes, I'm hungry. All right. I have 2 pizzas. Pizza over here gets cut into 10 slices. Pizza over here gets cut into 8 slices. Which one has the bigger slices? The 8, right? So if you have 3 pieces from the 10 slice or 3 pieces from the 8 slice, which one is bigger? Which one is more food? The 8 slice. So that means that I'm going to have the 3/8 be greater than, which means, I'll say it one time, the alligator eats the 3/8. How would I say this though? An intelligent math sentence would be 3/10 is less than 3/8. Boom, 1 down. Second one, here we go. This is where you have to be careful. And I said something with first hour and it really resonated with them. So many times people say, what's the bigger number? What's the bigger number? That's a fine way to say it, but when you hear bigger, I want you to think better. And here's why. Math is money. Money is math. So you need to understand that if we're looking at negatives, we're talking debt, right? Negatives represents debt. Is it better to have more debt or less debt? Well, hopefully you know the answer there. The answer is less. So the smaller negative, okay, is better. So it also is bigger. So when I look at these 2, if I owed 99 cents or 97 cents, it would be better for me if I owed 97 cents. So that is the bigger number. Make sense? The more debt you have, the worse it is. So that means it is a smaller number. The less debt you have, that's better for you, so that's the bigger number. So, only say it at once. The alligator would eat the negative 0.97. But I want an intelligent math sentence, so here's how it would be read. Negative 0.99 is less than negative 0.97. Another way to say it, somebody said this first hour, I was very proud of them. Miss McRoberts must teach you well. They said negative 0 and 99 hundredths. Ooh, they dropped the decimal place lingo. Is less than negative 0 and 97 hundredths. Also correct. They're synonymous, okay? So make sure you understand how to determine what's bigger / better when you're comparing 2 numbers. Now we're comparing 3 numbers. This one was the most challenging because you really had to evaluate it 3 different times and they're all speaking different languages, right? This one has the 5 on the denominator. This has a 7. This doesn't even have a denominator. It's a decimal. There are lots of ways to do this. Lots of ways. Pick your poison, okay? Pick your pleasure. That's a better way to say it. So we can make this a fraction and then try to get common denominators and go from there. That is a way to do it. The fastest way would probably to just make these decimals and then compare them all speaking the same language. That's what I'm going to do right now. I showed a different method with first hour, but I figure variety is the spice of life. So we're going to put a little paprika on this one and divide to find our decimals. So for this first one, I'm going to take a 3 and divide 5 into it. Now keep in mind, I'm not negating the negative. That was fun to say. I'm just knowing that in the end, my answer will be negative. Right? You should know that. If it's a negative, when I divide and actually evaluate this, my answer will be negative. 5 doesn't go into 3, so I place the 0. How many times does 5 go into 30? 6. 0 remainder. Nice. So this can be represented by negative 0.6. Not bad, right? Pretty simple. All right. Now, let's move on to negative 5/7. So again, I'm taking 5 and dividing 7 into it. Hopefully you can see that. I wrote that a little small. 7 does not go into 5. So I put the 0. How many times does 7 go into 50? Almost 50. It's 49. So we would go in 7 times. Now, I am going to show you something really quick. I'm going to be intelligently lazy. Let me tell you what I mean by that. I'm going to stop right now. I'm going to stop right now. Because I know that this is represented by a negative 0.7 something. We'll get there. I'm going to stop though because I want to be intelligently lazy. Why were we doing this? I just want to know who's biggest, right? Biggest means best. So if I owed 60, 65, or 70 something, what's the best scenario for me? Right? What's the best scenario? To owe the least amount of money. The least amount of money is the best scenario. So this is the biggest number. That'll be the second biggest, and that'll be the smallest. Now, look at your directions. Do they want it greatest to least or least to greatest? Order the numbers from least to greatest. Least to greatest. Okay? Now again, greatest means biggest, and biggest, I'm asking you to think what's the best. Okay? So if this was our best scenario, that's our biggest number. That doesn't go first because they want least to greatest. So this was the smallest number. Don't list it here. Go back to the original language. And my answer from least to greatest will be negative 5/7. Okay, what's the next smallest, right? Keep in mind the biggest is the best. Negative 0.6, negative 0.65. All right? Which one is better for you? It'd be better if we only owed 60. So that means 65 is the next smallest. Negative 0.65. Least to greatest. So now we end with the biggest, which is the best scenario for us. And I'm going to go to negative 3/5. Again, I'm reverting back to the same way that they started the problem. Okay? You do some great conversions, but when you list your final answer, you need to go back and state it in the order using the terms that they gave you. Negative 5/7, negative 0.65, and negative 3/5. Okay? It's a quick rundown. You still have your math minute to start with class, and now you have the rest of that worksheet in iExcel. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.